All right. At this time, I'd like to call this meeting of the Board of Commissioners, November the 28th, 2 p.m. to order. And if you'll stand, I'm going to ask Commissioner Nicholson to do the invocation.
Now we have a prayer, please. Gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, thank you again for this day. Lord, just thank you for all the many blessings that you've been through with us along. And Lord, just ask you to lead, guide, direct us today as we do the county's business. May every decision be pleasing to you, Lord. Lord, just ask you to put your hedge of protection around our vehicles on the way home for safety. Lord, be with those overseas fighting for them right now, Lord. And we just pray that each and every one has blessed holidays coming up. We just ask that every forgiveness for we fail. And in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. At this time, I need to ask for approval of the agenda, and we're going to add a short closed session.
Motion to approve with the amendment to add a closed session.
All right.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I'm going to move to public comments, and I'm going to open the floor, and I'll start down here with Commissioner Morris.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Welcome everybody to the meeting today. We appreciate your participation. Would remind everybody about the Christmas celebration in Danbury this weekend on Sunday. Always a really good event. That's all I have, Madam Chair.
All right, Commissioner Nicholson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good to see everybody. I just wanted to say thank you for the past 4 years of allowing me to serve you as one of your commissioners. It's been an honor, and really am looking forward to see what God has in my path. I've had some unexpected things that just come up. It just come out of nowhere. And so I'm excited to see what that journey and where it leads me to. And God had really just put something on me I've been dealing with the last few months. And it comes from Matthew chapter 6, 14 and 15. It says, "You forgive those who sin against you, your heavenly Father will forgive you. But if you refuse to forgive others, your Father will not forgive you for your sins." So that has really weighed on me heavy. Some things you can't control. And, where it speaks in the Bible that God will, what others intend as evil, God will use it for good, has really shown it to come true. I want to give them thanks for that. And I want to thank each and every one of you employees that are here. I've seen how hard y'all worked the last 4 years. And regardless of what you hear out there, trust me, I hear stuff all the time. I have seen with my own eyes and heard my own ears of the work that y'all put into this county. And you probably don't hear it enough, but I want you to hear it from me. Thank y'all for everything you do, your hard work and your dedication here. It's more than a lot of people could even put up with or even try to put up with. And my prayers are with you guys, and I won't be here for it, so I hope y'all have a Merry Christmas and a good New Year. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. All right.
Yeah, as always, I want to thank everybody that came out today. And for everybody that is watching on live stream. Just want to say that I hope everybody had a very good Thanksgiving. We have a lot of things here in America to be thankful for. When you look around the world and see what other places, what's going on in some of the other countries right now. But I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving, and as you prepare for Christmas, also wish each and every person, I know we'll have another meeting or two before then, but sometimes it gets hectic and you lose the true meaning of Christmas. So just each and every person, I say thank you for being a participant. That's all I have, Madam Chair.
All right.
Again, great to see everybody out today. Beautiful day. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. I as well, this will be my last meeting. I appreciate everybody's support. I wish the two new commissioners well coming on. Hope everything goes well for them. And again, I appreciate everybody being here. Thank you.
All right. And I'd like to thank everybody for being here today and for the last couple of years that I've been able to serve with Commissioner Nicholson and Commissioner Barney Castle. I appreciate their service to our county and the time that I've gotten to work with them and learn from them. It's been a very valuable experience that I'll always treasure for sure. And at this time, we'd like to present y'all with a couple plaques from the county for your service. Let's see here. This one is presented to Commissioner Andy Nicholson from the board in appreciation and recognition of dedicated service and commitment to our county. And this one, guess who? This one's to Wayne Barney Castle in appreciation and recognition of the dedicated service and commitment to Stokes County. Look good in the fireplace.
Thank you.
I'm gonna get a picture.
No.
You want it right here, or?
Right there, everybody together under the, is that good?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, great. Yeah.
You can stay seated, we'll just gather around you, how's that?
That's great.
Yeah, don't get up, Grandpa.
Slide over.
Glare on the head right there.
Is
Watch
that
out.
good? You got everybody? All right. Move to Shannon for your comments.
Madam
Go
Chair,
ahead.
I wanted to wait till after the presentation to just also say, I didn't mention Wayne and Andy during my comments because I knew the presentation was coming. I wanted to wait till afterwards. And as I began to enter my 7th year as commissioner, got to work with Andy and Wayne here for the last 4 years. 4 years for Andy and Wayne. Just want to say it's been an honor, been a pleasure, and I have really enjoyed working with both of you. And I say that from the bottom of my heart. I hope you understand.
I do.
Appreciate it.
I'm sorry about all the Botox jokes I get on there.
Thank
I'll
you.
try to pick up that and keep it going. Go ahead.
I would also like to wish these guys the best as they enter the next chapter of their lives.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Ms. Shaver?
Everybody here today. I wanted to say thank you to Commissioner Nicholson and Commissioner Barney Castle for their service to Stokes County. It's been nice to work with both of you and get to know you through the time that we've worked together, and you'll be missed here by everybody. And I certainly wish you all the best in what you do next, and hope you have a little bit more free time to maybe do some of those things you enjoy doing, especially after retirement for Commissioner Barney Castle. So we're always just a call away if you need us for something. So,
Thank you, Shannon. It's been a pleasure working with you the last 4 years as well.
Yeah, you done an outstanding job as far as I'm concerned. Thank you.
thank you.
All right. Are there anybody signed up for public comments? Okay, then we'll move on to the conflicts of interest statement. Before moving any further, does any board member have a conflict of interest with any of the items on the agenda for today, or one that could be perceived as a conflict of interest?
I do, Madam Chair, for the action item on the Gentry Road.
Okay. All right, we'll note that. All right, there we go. Anybody else? We're good? All right. Then I will move on to the consent agenda, which the minutes and some budget amendments on there. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
All right, second.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Okay. And the information agenda has Brandon Hooker with the Register of Deeds quarterly report.
Good afternoon. Is it-
Afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hello. It'll be okay. Thank you for having me on today. Two commissioners, outgoing commissioners, good to work with both of you. think a lot of you. Enjoyed working with you the last few years. Wish you the best. Anything I can ever do for either one of you, let me know. I think everyone has the reports in front of them, is that correct?
Yes.
First quarter of our fiscal year so far, our total revenue was $194,617.50. You can see the various numbers on our documents, recordings, birth certificates, death certificates, deeds. I'm not going to go through all those individually, but the number of transactions, this is the one I've been waiting for. Decreases in both revenue and transactions for the first time since before COVID. Our transactions increased over a year, or decreased almost 9% over the same quarter for last fiscal year, and almost 7.5% decrease in revenue over the last fiscal year first quarter. Monies collected by the state from the office total $75,131.70. Our net revenue for the quarter was $119,485.80. Even though we went down over the last year for that same quarter, we're still way up from what we were pre-COVID. Sales prices for our properties continue to be higher than pre-COVID figures. Transactions have decreased. I mean, you all keep up with the news. The Fed's raised rates a lot since the summer. I think we're starting to see a slowdown in some of those transactions that we really had seen an increase the last 2 years, probably because of that difference in the interest rates. 7.35%. That's the revenue decrease from the same quarter last year. That's $11,600 for the total quarter. So we're not talking. You look at the county budget that you guys look at, it's $60 million roughly, and 7% is a pretty big number, but out of my budget, that's not a huge number, but so that's about $11,600 over 3 months for last year to this year difference, or average about $3,800 a month. And for reference, we saw an increase in 1 year of $12,000 per month between 2020 and 2021. That's how much per month we increase. So the decrease is not near as dramatic as the increase, so that's good. So we're not seeing a drop off, or severe drop anyway. It's just kind of starting to slide down a little bit. Well, that's as far as the financial figures. I talked about our Think a Bet program the last time I was here. We kicked that off on the 14th of November. We've issued close to 25 cards so far, the discount cards, and business applications are starting to slowly trickle in. When I get a comprehensive list of participating businesses, I told all the veterans I'll get on our website so they can be advertised on there. But I'll get that list on as soon as we get some more to come in. They've been slower coming in than I had expected. And I had some emails about this. Some veterans already have designations on their driver's license or IDs from the DMV, and they have VA cards too. And some people asked if they could participate in the program without recording their military discharge because they didn't want their information on record. The information is restricted access to just a few individuals, but I told them that I've told the businesses to this that have asked, and I've reached out to them through the Chamber of Commerce that they should still accept other forms of ID to participate with this program. The goal of the program is just to honor veterans, and excluding the veteran from the program just because they didn't want to record their discharge is counterproductive to that goal. So I'm encouraging businesses to also accept those IDs for the program as well. We got funds in the last budget to buy a new microfilm, a microfiche card reader, and it was installed in October. And the main purpose for this is to clarify the language in documents that we don't have a good digital scan of already. When the digitizing was done years ago, you're talking about well over 1 million documents, and just the sheer volume, you're not going to get a clean scan on all of them. So some of the ones online are not as clean as others, and it's hard to read small print. And so about 25 years worth of our records, the primary record or the original record is microfilm instead of print media. So we got this reader to be able to see those a lot easier. And it has, it's helped a lot. We've already solved some problems for attorneys that have called us that couldn't make out what they were reading online, and so we were able to use this machine. And I found out this machine, it was $5,900, almost $6,000, and it's less than the old machines that we replaced with these. Those machines were, I found out, $13,000 brand new 25 years ago, and this one replaces 2 pieces of equipment the size of this podium, and this thing's about like this, and it's cheaper than those 2 were individually over 25 years ago. So I think we come out better for it anyway. And those other equipment they're obsolete. The toner and the printer is running out. They don't make toner for that anymore. You can't find parts for those. You can't find somebody to work on them. So I appreciate the board for appropriating those funds for this new reader this year. Our back indexing project that I spoke about before, the ball's in my court now. I'm working with our vendor who's doing the project for us to consolidate document types. They're looking at documents from the late 70s up to the early 90s, and a lot of different type of document titles, I guess you'd say, were used back then, and we're trying to consolidate them and kind of get them more in line with modern document standards. And so he and I have been working. He came by 2 weeks ago, and we're working on getting that list down. And once he gets those figured out, and I'll work with him on that, then all he has to do is put the index together, and we should have it in by the first of the year. And so now, instead of having to go through our scanned copies of the old index books to look up the last name, and then go down and find your first name, and then find the document book and page, and then go out of that, then try to put the book and page number in. Nick knows how that works. You can search it just by first and last name, not have to go through all those index pages. That's a lot of extra hoops you don't have to go through once this is done. And Nick's asked me about it every time he sees me, so I know they're getting excited about it. It's not a lot to get excited about in the rest of these, but we find things like that every now and then. I think that's about all that I have, unless somebody else has some
All right.
questions.
Board members have questions?
Just
Good report.
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, Commissioner.
I don't have any.
Oh, yeah, okay. And
I don't have any. Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure working with you.
thank you too, Brandon. And just out of curiosity, where you said first and last name, does it pick up? My dad's name was James Robert Mendenhall. My name's James Ronald Mendenhall. It goes down. I have a lot of times conflicts where it's James R. Mendenhall for my dad, James R. Mendenhall for me. I've had to distinguish that many times, especially since my father passed away 8 or 9 years ago, when I go places and have to do things. And they say, so you're James Robert, but I'm James Ronald. Will that machine have any trouble distinguishing?
No, what we do, that depends on us. We index every document exactly the way it's written. And so if someone says they want to search James Mendenhall, I'll look at every James Mendenhall I'll check each variation of James Mendenhall just so we get a good list and we can kind of pick through them and and talk with the customer, make sure we're getting the right person.
Okay.
I know my dad had a situation at the bank where there were two men with the same first name, same middle initial, kind of like your situation, and the money went in the wrong account one day. And I knew the guy, that it wasn't a cousin or anything, but I ended up knowing him. That was a weird day for him and my dad. So yeah, we try to avoid stuff like that because we're not dealing with money. But
Thank you, Brad.
yes, sir.
Thank you. Good
Thank you.
report. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. That takes us to the discussion agenda, and item A is the tax office agenda. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving.
You too.
I want to echo what everybody said about Commissioner Barney-Castle, Commissioner Nicholson. Going to miss you guys. It's a pleasure working with you. And I got a short agenda today. Just as always, our tax collection status report indicates that we've collected $599 of the general county and school operating expense budget. We're up about $576,000 in collection from this time last year, so that's good. Then moving along, we have releases and refunds. First of all, releases that are less than 100, we have 18 accounts that total $601. Refunds less than 100, we have 2 accounts that's $19.11. And then releases more than 100, we have 1 account that's $241.63. And then the final item, refunds more than 100, we have 2 accounts that total $469.20. And then I also have some late applications for disabled veterans and some late applications for elderly exemption. That's all I have.
Okay. Board members have any questions about the tax report?
Once again, no questions, Richard, but thank you. It's been a pleasure working with you over the last 4 years.
Thank you. And I would just ask if we could remove the releases and refunds more than 100 and the disabled veterans and elderly exemptions to the December 12th consent agenda.
Will do. And let me ask you a question. There's still talk about Duke Power going away and eventually, is that, you hearing anything about that, or?
I was actually in some continuing education about 2 weeks ago, and the guy from Department of Revenue who handles public utilities was actually doing one of the breaks. I talked with him about that, and you know, I could see us losing a little bit of revenue, a small percentage, because they've gone over all the way to basically to the natural gas. But so our coal inventory is going to go down. But he doesn't seem to think that it's going to be drastic. And then we look back at Rutherford County when they did that conversion. I think they might have went down 3%. But you know, with Duke Energy being over $5 million, you know, a few percent is a pretty large number. I don't think they'll go away, but I think one of these days, instead of getting that $50, $60, $70 million increase that we've been getting the last few years, I could see that maybe going down 10 million in value. But
Yeah.
I try to contact them. I try not to be worrisome to them, but I contact them beginning in about March, because that's when Lisa and the finance department want to know some numbers, and we try to get a good indication from them. And a lot of times he can kind of give me some guidance, and you know, if he sees something coming down the pipe, I think he'll let us know, and we can give the board a conservative number where they could budget off that.
Gotcha. So,
I would say that I serve on the Board of Trustees at Forsyth Tech with Jimmy Blythe. And Jimmy and I talk about once a quarter. And I'm getting sort of the same feel that you just expressed. So,
that's probably what's getting the rumor mill started, is the conversion over to the natural gas.
Because the supply of coal is such a big part of the revenue, and that's been cut probably somewhere between 50 and 75%. But with the project costs that they've got going on, that's more than offset it the last few years. But when they get through doing all their conversions and everything, some of that probably will go away.
Gotcha. Thank you for that information.
Thank you,
All right. Okay, the next item is the request to open an environmental health specialist position. We have Tammy Martin, the health director, here. Okay.
I just want to say thank you to Commissioner Nicholson and Barney Castle for the past few years. Good luck in the future. We've come today to request another position for environmental health, just for food and lodging alone, because right now we have 2. Brandon and Cole do the outside, well, all that.
You see how I don't like going in a restaurant this way.
And we only have 1 that does the food and lodging, and the numbers are going up. Per year, we have 198. Is that still right? No new ones yet?
Right, 190.
Establishments that need to be inspected. That includes your restaurants, your food trucks, your nursing homes, daycares, everything. It's not just restaurants.
Actually, here's the number, 210.
210 now.
210.
Okay, we're at 210.
Total inspections for the year is 489 for all the inspections we do for.
And the state wants us at 100% compliance, and last fiscal year, 21-22, we were at 72.9. And right now, the state has gave us money 4 environmental health specialists, and I know I'll have to add it in the budget next budget season. But right now, we only have 3 employees that do that, and of course, those 2 go out, and there's only 1 for lodging and the restaurants. And Yadkin has 5 employees, and Davie has 5, and their population is near ours. So I just wanted to see if I could request that position be open, and hopefully we'd be able to find someone, because right now it takes a year to train that person before they can go out into the field. And the state, there's a shortage right now in the state of environmental health specialists also. And they're trying to redo the rules as to where some of the colleges offer more of the classes at the school, and you don't have to spend that whole year training after you've graduated. So I'm hoping that helps some with our hiring process also, and maybe next year they'll give us more money since there's a shortage. But we're just here to ask that we open that position back up. It's been frozen for a few, 5 more.
I can't remember the exact year, what county shows.
Just for a few years because we didn't need it then. But we're growing, and King's growing, and I'm not sure how many more restaurants are coming to King. And Brandon and Cole are not having time to go help in the restaurants like they did before because all the new housing and everything coming also. But that's why we're here, and if you have any questions, you can ask me or Brandon.
Okay, start down here.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Why is the state giving you the money because of the 70% thing instead of 100%?
Every county's getting money, and in that AA, you can add environmental health specialists is covered. We're also redoing some, the clinic rooms with that money also. And they said we could do that with this money, and we thought this would be the time to ask to open that back up since you wouldn't have to fund it right now.
So they gave you some money for multiple purposes, and you're using part of it for this?
Right.
Then you're going to put it in the budget for next year?
Yes.
Don't you get some extra money or some kind of bonus if you're 100%? Or am I thinking about something different?
We get funds back for the, I guess, the percentage of what we get done.
Yeah.
And then you lose if you don't have if you don't get the 100%, then you don't get any money at all, right? Or you lose. How's that? Do you
It's
remember
a
how that
percentage.
works?
It's based on the percentage you're compliant.
So if you get back to 100%, we'll have any idea how much you'll get from?
I don't know. Haley would know that. I don't know.
I can't remember either.
But I don't know it.
Has it been at the 70% for more than 1 year? Is it?
Yes.
It's been getting further behind each year, or what?
Yes.
Okay.
And during COVID, they actually were lenient on the inspections, number of inspections, and that ended, I think it was July 1 this year. So like category 4, we only have to do it 2 times a year, where most years we have to do more inspections. So that helped, I think, these numbers on the percentages for the last year.
100%, that's fully compliant. You have to be 100% to be fully compliant. So is there a penalty for not being after a certain amount of time? Do they penalize you any certain way, or do you
I
know?
think it's a liability for the county, you know, if we're not getting an inspection in a restaurant
Mm-hmm.
in the quarter that's supposed to be done.
Oh, okay. That you do them quarterly?
It depends on the category of the restaurant.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Some
depends on how many foods they heat and cool. Say, parties, I think it's the category 3, Taco Bell's 2, do it 2 times a year.
Mm-hmm.
So like King Kitchen's 4 times a year.
Oh,
So
okay.
the more food you have, the more food you're cooling.
Oh, okay. That's all I have.
Okay.
Well, my question was like when he asked about the money, about the state giving, but now I do see a need in this right here with everything that just got passed in this last election with the liquor by the drink and everything else. I'm sure it's going to attract more restaurants to the King area. So if you guys are already overworked, I can see a big need in it. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Oh, I'm 100% behind this. I mean, after being in a lot of different areas, I know in the school system, it was very simple. We had certain departments that if you went below a certain percentage of the efficiency, it was called an efficiency rating. I'm sure you're familiar with it. And if we went under a certain percent, the school system was, they lost money. State took money away from them. And so know exactly where they're coming from. And I know the county is continuing to grow as far as the need in this specific area. So I'm behind this 100%. That's all I have, Madam Chair.
All right. Commissioner Barneycastle?
Does the county charge for these inspections? The restaurants have to pay, or is that something
The state charges, bills them once a year. for that
state bills?
inspection. They don't pay that at the end of the year. We have to hand out a letter from the state saying that their permit's gonna be revoked if they don't pay it in a certain amount of days.
Okay. Is that some of the money that comes back to us through that?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm behind 100%. Yeah, it's not going to stop. It's going to keep growing. The
Yeah.
restaurant business is anyway, for sure.
Yep. I can speak from just in our barber shop. We haven't been inspected in 2 years. So there's a definite lack of employees, and they don't have enough help, to get all the barber shops in the state inspected. So I can see how this would be the same way. You know, if there's a lack of inspectors, then you're getting way behind. Like I said, they used to come twice a year, then it went to about once a year for us. And I don't know I'm sure the state gave them some leniency around COVID, but it was pre-COVID before we were inspected. So, and I've seen where they're advertising for more inspectors for the barber board. So I can see where this would be a problem and an issue. And like you said, with all the construction that's going on, that's pulling your other two guys off of being able to help with the restaurants and stuff. So I can see how that would be a problem. So I think it would be a good idea to go ahead and get somebody hired, especially since you're going to have to train them and stuff. So
We need to move this to action, Madam Chair.
you want this moved to action for today?
If you can.
Yeah, I don't see why not. We got a pretty short action agenda. All right.
I have one other question
Okay,
right
go
quick
ahead.
now. Do you guys still do training for the restaurant owners for safe serve and all that kind of stuff? Would you be able to with a new position? Probably. Okay.
Okay. All right, we'll get this on for action today. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. All right, moving on. The next item is the proposed employee Christmas bonus.
So I've got some information and I can share with you some numbers. I just had the finance department figured some information for us to share with you on a proposed bonus for employees for Christmas for this year. The first thing was that the last time a cost of living adjustment was actually given in the budget was in the 1920 budget, and that was a 4%. Of course, there was the salary study and some of the hazard essential pay bonuses that were given that were, outside of that. This has been a tough year employee-wise as far as I think nationwide, not just in this county, trying to retain people here. I know that it would go a long ways for a lot of people especially this time of year, for them to get something, just, a token of appreciation for the work that they do. We figured if we did a $250 full-time bonus for the full-time employees, $125 for the part-time, would cost right around $95,000. That's based on every full-time employee getting $250. We didn't go with any of the formulas we've done in the past. If you want us to do that, we can certainly figure that. We didn't do anybody limited as far as the time they've been here. We just did a flat $250 for each employee that's currently employed full-time. On the part-time, we did figure it based on the employee working 20 hours a month, 10 out of 12 months. We could change that to, I'd asked Tracy Aaron in finance this morning how much that would change that number if we changed that to 100 hours total for the whole year, just that they've worked. Because that was something we found one time when we did a bonus years ago. We started to look at it, and Joey said, well, there are some people on our part-time roster that don't work at all, and then there are some that work right at that limit every week of what they can work. So we wanted to try to come up with a number that would sort of be fair to where if they worked at least 100 hours. But I think now thinking through it, it'd probably be better if we just limited it to 100 hours for the whole year rather than by month, because some people worked more in one month than the other. And that certainly, we can discuss that, and if you want to see a different number of that, we can do that. But either of those things wouldn't change that bottom line a huge amount. It was just a handful of people that would affect. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on that and see if you were interested. And of course, if we did this, we wouldn't put together any kind of large meal like we've done in the past. We've been staying away from that a little bit during COVID, just not to have everybody gathered in one location. Last year, we just gave each department their own funds to do their meals. If we did a bonus, this would be a straight bonus, and it would be outside of the regular payroll. They do it on a separate week, a separate check run for that. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on that and see if you would be interested in entertaining that idea.
Okay, I'll start down here with Commissioner Morris.
I would be with the 100-hour thing.
Okay. The total 100 for the year.
A total
Yeah, I think
100 for
that's
the year.
a better, more fair way.
I agree.
Yeah,
I would agree with that.
sounds like it's unanimous. Let's do it. Do I need to move it to action?
If the board has no issue with that, that would allow, I'm not saying it'll happen immediately, but that'll allow finance the flexibility to decide when they can do that. I know we have
Okay.
payroll this week, and then possibly next week we could do a separate
Okay.
run for that. That
I
would be
think
great.
that's the 100 hours for the whole year.
The 100 hours for the year
Yeah.
for the part-time, and then
Yeah.
every full-time employee.
Yep, okay. All right, let's,
You want that today?
Thank you very much.
all right, we'll move it on to action. All right, and moving on, the next one is the sheriff's bond, and it's Glenda Pruitt.
We'll just move it over to the side. Joey contacted me a few weeks ago. He was at a conference and in regards to getting approval for his bond. And so when I was researching the general statute, it actually does say that I need to come before you and get approval on his bond, which he already has a bond. We're basically just doing a continuation of his current bond, just because the term changed. So I'm here before you today to just get your approval to proceed.
Okay. Any questions?
I don't remember ever doing this before, but
Well, I
I'm
couldn't
fine
find
doing it, I just didn't, I
I
don't know.
couldn't find anything where it's ever been done before, but the general statute does state that you have to approve it.
I thought maybe the statute had changed or
And it
something.
may have, when I went back and researched it, because he had texted me, apparently he was in a class that they brought it up, and then I'm like, well, I've never done it, not sure that Danny had either, but when I got to researching it, I said, I think we'll play safe. It pretty much says it, so we'll just do it.
All right.
I was kind of like Commissioner Morris when I read it. I was like, I don't think I've ever seen this before.
And I'd never done one either, but I thought, well, we're just gonna play it safe because, and I'm thinking maybe something did change because I always just do the bond and then take it over to the clerk of court and file it and give a copy to whoever the clerk is at the
Right.
time.
Okay.
So we've been doing everything, just the approval needs to be there.
Okay, well, we'll move this to action for today, if that's all right with the board.
Madam Chair. Linda, thank you for doing the research on that and bringing that to us. That just shows you take your job serious, and I appreciate it.
Well, I'm trying to make sure we're doing everything we're supposed to be doing, so I'm trying my best. Thank you
All right,
all.
Thank you.
All right. All right, that takes us to the action agenda. And the first item is the local fireman's relief fund trustee appointment request. At the last meeting, the board nominated Adam Mitchell. I'll open the floor for further nominations.
Motion to close.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Okay. I'll poll the board.
Mitchell.
Adam Mitchell.
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 And Mitchell, all right. Now I have the request for the partial abandonment closure of Gentry Road. Any other questions on this before we vote?
Madam Chair, just refresh me on this, Ray. I know it's at the last meeting. Shannon, you said that like tax department,
Every
everybody was
department.
against it, correct?
Like that,
Okay.
that sheet that they all fill out and sign for you as far as if they either approve or disapprove of it, every department disapproved of closing that portion of the road as
Because
requested.
it could cause delays, like in calls and stuff like that.
One of the things was like a 3-minute increase to certain areas if they were traveling, they could not cut through that portion of the road, which a 3-minute timeline in an emergency can be.
I think it was
a lifetime.
more than that in some
Yeah,
instances.
some of them, so.
Also, it's just not only the time frame, it deals with the ISO rating and the fire department district.
Correct.
You gotta redo all that, and that's a through road anyway, so there's
Yeah.
a lot would have to be weighed in that factor.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Any other questions? I need a motion.
Motion to disapprove.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. You're abstaining.
I'm in no
Okay.
vote. I mean, I'm a no participate.
No participant. Okay. Clarify that.
He's a recusal.
Okay, all right. Item C is the substance use strategy opioid funds, and I think that the recommendation was to go with Plan B. And then I think the steering committee is going to come back with some further recommendations on that, but we just need to have it approved that that's the what direction we're going. Do you have any questions?
No.
All right.
Make a motion to approve Exhibit B.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. All right, now we have the position added to the environmental health. I have a motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And the Christmas bonus for all employees, that included the 100 hours for part-time.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. The sheriff's bond,
Motion to approve.
all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, now I need a motion to go into closed.
Motion to go in a closed.
Oh, do we need to read rationale first?
Yeah, go ahead, Amber.
To consider the initial employment or appointment of an individual to any office or position other than a vacancy in the Board of County Commissioners or any other public body, or to consider the qualifications, competence, performance, character, and fitness of any public officer or employee other than a member of the Board of Commissioners or some other public body pursuant to General Statute 143-318.11B6.
I still place the motion
I'll
in
second.
a closed.
All those in favor? Aye. All right. Does anybody need a recess short, or are we good? I'm good.
Yeah.
All right, we're back in open. I need a motion to adjourn to Wednesday, December, what is that? Recess, recess.
I make a motion to recess the meeting till Wednesday at 5 o'clock.
All right. All those in favor? Aye. Now I need a motion to close.
Motion to adjourn.
No, I don't, no.
It just tastes like
This is the first time I've had a recess.